Hi there, my name's George Weller and I'm the S4Luk2 group leader for the Southampton and Salisbury area. So everything under the SO and the SP postcode is my terrain. For the benefit of those of you who don't know me, I thought I'd better explain a bit about myself and my background and how I've ended up doing what I'm doing and why. Okay, for the first 25 years of my career I was an electronics engineer. For the last 15 years or so of that, I was a contract engineer, so I ended up travelling usually fairly long distances to get to work. You know, when you're a contract engineer, you usually chase the higher rates, and very rarely do they end up to be close to home. So you end up driving 30, 40 miles. Sometimes people are driving 60, 70 miles, and even more. And it's been known to be even more than that. For several months, I was commuting to London and back from Southampton. So you end up spending an hour minimum each way travelling to and from work. Quite often it's 2 hours for some people. You're a contract engineer, and usually they only call in contract engineers when they're desperate for time and things need to be out the door. So you end up working probably 10-hour days. So often as not, I'd work 10, 11-hour days. The problem with that being, I was also a father. I had 2 young daughters most of the time I'm talking about. My oldest daughter, Shireen, was born in 1988, and my youngest daughter, Jasmine, was born in 1991. And later on, in 1994, my first son was born. Of course, I loved my children dearly, and I hated having to spend all this time commuting and being away from them. I hated the long working days because it meant, often as not, I didn't get home in time for the children's bedtime. So at least the youngest 2 were usually in bed when I got home. It's one of those things that happens to many people, I suppose. Became completely meaningless in 1999 when my youngest daughter died. She had health problems, but we still didn't expect that to happen. And needless to say, it was devastating to us. For me, all I could think about was looking back over those times when I hadn't got home in time, and I saw myself as the villain, having stolen all that time where I could have been with my children and wasn't able to be there because of my own choice. I hated my job, I hated the commuting, and I hated myself. And that was a tough thing to live with, I tell you. I soldiered on with my career for a couple more years until unexpectedly we found out that we were going to be parents again. And a little over 8 years ago, my second son was born, Saxon. At that point, before Saxon was born, I decided that was it. I wasn't doing the commuting anymore, and I hated the job. And the people I was working with had noticed that my heart was no longer in it, and I was getting criticised at work, quite rightly too, because I wasn't pulling my weight anymore and doing what I should be doing. So I completely abandoned my 25-year career in electronics. Vowed from then on that I was going to work from home and spend time with my family. It's a very difficult thing to do, of course, to abandon one career and try and start another one. And I wasn't very successful at it. I got by. We weren't rich, but the children had everything they needed. The most important thing to me was the fact that I was able to spend time with them. And the fact that we weren't so well off was completely unimportant. In fact, I can put my hand on my heart and honestly tell you that I'd gladly give away everything I own to have my youngest daughter back in my arms. Didn't mean to get emotional. Okay, so you can understand where I was and why. The first thing I did was dabble in property. I bought and sold a couple of properties, did okay, nothing special. I bought a few more just at the wrong time when the housing market decided to go flat and the credit crunch hit. So that left me struggling. For a couple of years I was okay because I was able to remortgage the properties, just keep afloat that way. But of course the credit crunch hit hard, and before long I was unable to do that. In the meantime, I was trying to get an internet business launched. I tried several different things. Most of the things I tried ended up with me spending hours and hours and hours to make peanuts, literally. And things weren't working out. I know now that one of the problems was the fact I didn't have the correct mindset. I didn't understand mindset. I had several mentors or people in the internet marketing world try to teach me how to make money, but most of them didn't really, or didn't at all, teach mindset. Before you can make any money at anything, you need to be in the correct mindset. I know that now. That's the beauty of Phil Gosling's Successful Life UK course, because it starts with reprogramming your mindset, which is the main thing which is going to enable you to succeed. The Successful Life UK programme that was taught by Phil Gosling was the thing that enabled me to turn things around and get back on track and actually start earning some money.